Hey guys, this is Shane from the River Paddlers. I recently completed a 10-day kayak camping trip and used a lot of different gear, some cheap, some expensive. So here are the reviews. One of the cost-saving items that I used on that trip was the Tobtos self-inflating sleeping pad. This thing's about 5 inches thick, and so here's my review about how it did for me. So this thing only cost about, I think about $45 roughly. So for this, there's two different valves. There's one in the pillow area. There's one on one end, and then if you flip it all the way around, there's one on the other end. So one is used to deflate and one is used to inflate. The one with the pillow looking thing is not actually a pillow, but it's to blow it up, is what you undo to blow it up. This one is pretty cool because you don't have to blow it up with your mouth. What I found best was stepping on it like so, and it'll blow up. The negatives is it takes a while to do it, and if you're doing it from your like small little tent that you have, it just takes forever. Let me show you. Once you get it nice and tight, make sure you secure this tightly there. So once you get this filled up, so like I said, what's good about it is it's thick, and it is thick. And I didn't actually blow it up as tight as I should have here. But make sure your valves are completely closed. One of the negatives of the trip that I had is one of the nights I woke up in the middle of the night on the floor. And the reason I woke up on the floor, there wasn't a hole in it, but one of the valves had popped open. This bottom valve had popped open. So just make sure it's tight and it'll probably be okay. So the good things about this that I liked is it was super comfortable. I was very comfortable. I fell right asleep and really had no issue sleeping. Besides that one time that I woke up on the ground, I didn't wake up on the ground. Besides that, I do think it lost just a little bit of air at nighttime, but not too much. It was enough so where it was still pretty hard, still pretty firm, and I didn't end up, on the floor or touching the ground even. I like to sleep on my side, so with this I was able to sleep on my side, had no issues. Really was pretty rough with it. I sat on it, I kind of moved all around it in the tent, and it held together. So for about 45 bucks, I was pretty happy with that. So the negatives, and the negatives are because this is a cheap sleeping pad, let's be honest. So as far as keeping me warm at nighttime, when it got down to like the low to mid 40s, this ain't gonna cut it. This is not gonna cut it. I got pretty cold a couple times at night. Eventually got smart enough. I had a small blanket, we'll call it, that I was able to put over it, and then I had my sleeping bag on top of it. Once I put that blanket over this and slept directly on the blanket, I was fine. But just know that this in general doesn't have an R value. I don't think it has an R value at all. It is not going to keep you warm. So if you want to use something like this, you got to use it in the summertime, or, you know, this would probably be good for the beach, or probably make a good flotation device like a raft as well. But for what I used it for, and for as long as a trip as I was on, wish I would have had something different. I survived, so it got me through. It did get me through. And it stayed inflated. It didn't get a hole in it. So it's built relatively well for what it is. But just know that it is not going to keep you warm if it is cold outside. So for that, and knowing all those things, you know, I probably would give this, a C. And the reason I give it a C is because it was comfortable, and because it did stay inflated. It is fairly rugged, but it does not keep you warm if it's cold, and that is a big deal, you know, when you're out there, you know, camping and it gets chilly. It's a big deal. So I had enough stuff to compensate to be able to stay warm, but just know that you don't want to take this in frigid weather. Summertime's fine. And when I tested it, it was summertime when I tested it in the field before I used it. But just know that it's not going to keep you warm. But for something that is cost effective that you're going to use in the summertime or at the beach, this is a good item. But if it's something that you're going to use in colder weather, stay away. So to deflate it, so also this does have a pillow built in, which I actually found kind of good. It kind of wasn't awful. I also used another, you know, camp pillow as well with it, but it wasn't really that bad. So to deflate it, you got the valve on the back side of the pillow. You got the valve on the back side of the pillow, so that will deflate it, and it actually it folds up pretty nice. I did not put this in the original packaging. I put it directly in a dry bag and actually misplaced the original packaging. But once you do the valve, once you unleash the valve on the back, you want to get as much air out of the other area that you used to blow it up with, the pump, and that'll make it fold up a lot better. So it folds up back pretty easily, pretty nicely, and then you're able to get it back in your dry bag. Thanks for watching.